Hello and good evening, everybody. I just saw the scene. I didn't see the whole episode, but I saw the scene with Simone Cecil and her youngest son talking about going to law school. And I felt we should have an open forum to discuss it because something has come across my mind. Simone Whitmore does not know how to manage money. I think that's what it is. Now, Simone, like, why would you send your kid to college? And, I know Simone encouraged that kid to become a lawyer. And now she's going to say, I don't want to pay for law school. You just bought them an apartment 2 seasons ago. You've kept two houses over the past, how many seasons was it? They got Cecil's parents left them some money right when Cecil got bought out and retired. Honey, if he had bad grades, he wouldn't be able to get into law school. That's the thing, you ain't getting into law school with bad grades. I was going to say the same thing. At this point, I think Simone needs to go to anger management. Your kid wants to go to law school, so your kid can clearly get into law school, because otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation. If he had a C average, Simone wouldn't be saying nothing because she'd be like, okay, well, you find a law school that'll accept you. Like, you ain't got to worry about paying for law school for somebody that ain't getting in. You had $24,000 for kids force. That alone could have sent him to school. But this is something that pissed me off. Um, Hold on. I went to the doctor and got an inhaler. I'll be right. I'm ready for you today. I was coughing too much. Um, Simone said, I got loans when I went to graduate school because I'm the only one with a graduate degree at the table. Okay, Simone. All right. I looked it up. When you graduated in 1997, tuition was $12,000. $12,000. Now tuition is $50,000. So when you have someone like you, and also let's talk about how Simone makes her money because one, this is why I also think she don't know how to manage her money. If you wanted to be retired, you should have been retired by now. You have been on this show with secondary income as a doctor for 12 years. Now, if you were likable, if you decided to, in the words of Robin Dixon, make a moment, you could have been like Jackie and had your Queen V line or whatever, some type of spinoff offshoot business, but you haven't. You could be just from your Instagram alone, you should be able to make $10,000 to $15,000 a post. You're popular. Well, I can't say you're popular enough, but the show is popular enough. I was really surprised when she said that they aren't helping. My parents helped me with law school, and I was grateful. And it's like, why would you, knowing how difficult these institutions are, knowing how difficult it was for you to be a lawyer. You said school kicked your ass. I remember. And so does Pepperidge Farm. Why would you and also, y'all have the, well, you should have the money Because we know, Simone, we know you ain't spent that money on makeup. We know you didn't spend that money getting your hair done. We know you didn't spend that money on clothes. Where the fuck is the money? You've been on this show for 12 years and you've been a doctor the whole time and you crying broke over a little 150 for law school for your child. Now I can see now look, the car, did you hear me mention the car? The car, child, y'all figure that out on your own. He wanted to whine about the car, that's whining about the car. Your kid wants to go to law. What the hell was the point of doing all the education then? She has retired since this month, just doing charting. I mean, great. I feel like she, at this juncture, she could have retired to be full time reality. And Cecil was a doctor himself. The fact that Simone said she was the only one with a graduate degree. Hey, all those high end cars and properties. I would say that maybe if you didn't pretend that you know what, if you would come out the closet or just go on and end that damn marriage, you wouldn't have to keep two homes. But honestly, like two houses, now that them kids is grown, rent one of them damn houses out. Or oh my God, here's another thought. Why did you buy a condo when you had two houses in the same town? You couldn't have just let them kids live in the other house? There's 150 right there. Why can't Michael? Because why would you burden your child with student loans when they don't need them? When you can make $150,000 very easily. Simone could go on one of them little Bravo shows like Wife Swap or something to make an extra 150. When you can make 150 in a week, hell yeah, I'm going to ask you as my parent, not some person off the street. I don't see a problem with parents paying for their children's education. Maybe that's odd. That to me is odd. Why would you want to have the opportunity to make life easier for your children and then not? Like this, like here, the thing is, when she went to school, it was $12,000. If it was $12,000, maybe we'd be having a different conversation. Law school is $49,000 to $79,000 a year. Then also, here's something else I didn't like. For her to say, well, what about the parents that paid for their kids to go to school debt free and they're not doing anything? Okay, so if he can get into law school, he's clearly done something. Why are you going to assume he won't do anything? He's gone to college before successfully. What's the issue? Because again, if he had bad grades, you wouldn't be concerned about paying for a school he cannot get into. So if he can maintain a GPA to get into law school, how is he doing nothing? And why would you put that on your child? If they're able to help, there's no reason to force your children to be burdened by student loan. Thank you. It is we are not in the 90s anymore where you can take out a student loan and know that you'll make enough money to pay it back. You are getting out, you are already 3 years of income behind. Why would you do that to especially a black man? That just seems odd. Lost. Okay. Also, here is the thing with scholarships. Like law school scholarships and medical school scholarships, there are both. There's a lot more for medical. And also, the problem with scholarships is Simone, Simone qualified because Michael has rich parents. Michael doesn't qualify. That money is going to go towards kids who don't have parents with those resources. So, yeah, that's right. Simone and Cecil's wealth disqualify him for a lot. And also, here is something else. Because of that wealth attachment, they should have a problem with him taking money from somebody that doesn't have parents that can pay. And they can pay, and like they can pay, and Simone can still retire. It is not an either or. Because where are you getting a job? Now, again, Simone didn't say she worked through medical school because how do you work through medical school? Law school isn't something you can work through. So a job, that's cute, but also you're talking about $150,000. So I don't know what, like, yeah, when you get out, you'll be able to put a dent in it. But you're in law school, you kind of have to focus on law school. Like in college, regular college, yeah, you can get a job. Law school, you need to be focused, or otherwise, you could end up failing and wasting your money. He ran up a credit card. Okay. And this is why I also said Simone don't know how to manage her money. If you this boy wanted to go to law school, and I imagine she did, why did she give him a card to run up? Like, I'm sorry, at the first 5,000, I'm not like, you let it get up to 60,000. You didn't care. You were enjoying the miles. You didn't work during law school. It's probably not possible if you want to do well. And like, law school is something else where you can't make up a class. Like, you have to get it right the first time. Simone doesn't need, okay, need is a strong word. But I say this. I don't know how I feel about Michael receiving scholarships when he has parents with the money. That kind of feels like, well, why can't go to somebody that don't have nothing? I'm sorry. If it's my credit card and I'm paying the bill, how does it get up to 50,000? And I don't know. And also, she said this year. So 60,000, that means he's spending about 5,000 a month. I was going to say exactly. These people are rich. And the fact that they ran up a $60,000 bill, the fact that that was able to happen, that lets you know. Okay, again, too feisty. If he is getting into law school, he does not have mediocre grades. Simone is not concerned about him getting into law school with mediocre grades. You're not getting in with mediocre grades. And also, that's why I'm like, you're rich. You shouldn't like leave the scholarships for people who need scholarships. Leave the scholarships for the veterans. Leave the scholarships for the kids whose parents are in the system. Leave the scholarships for the kids that are coming out of the system. You have means on top of means. That the scholarship system is for people who do not have. Why are you dipping in there when you got parent with full pockets, full grown, full grown? But yeah, technically, on FAFSA, unless he's 26 years old, they gonna have to pay. And that's why the government has FAFSA, because parents would be like, oh, well, let somebody else. It's like, look, if you got the money, you can send your kids to school. Child, let Cecil said, I'm willing to pay. Cecil said, we're blessed. Maybe and Simone, my thing is, Simone always want to talk about how Quad is in debt, but you're whining about paying for law school. I thought you were so financially savvy. Here's the thing: you've known about law school since that kid was zero. You've known about law school since that kid was in the womb. You have had ample chancel to save for those children's higher education and their secondary education. You have had every opportunity over the past 20 years of your high earning career. So why the hell do you get to fix your mouth about Quad and paying off her house when your own child comes to you for law school money and you want to cry, bro? I gotta retire. You had 20 years as a doctor with double income. I don't want to hear it. Not when you got so much on Quad. Cecil retired. Cecil did IT and then he got bought out and retired and now he does real estate. I'm just that's the thing. You so worried about how to pay off Quad's house when you've got law school to focus on. And here's the thing, then cuss him out for the Jeep. Don't cuss him out about the law school. Cuss him out for the Jeep. I can get with you cussing him out for the Jeep. Simone doesn't feel supported by Cecil. Um, Simone don't want Cecil. Let's talk about the fact that that marriage should have ended years ago. How is Cecil a bum? Cecil is not a bum. Just because Cecil retired before Simone does not mean Cecil is a bum. And Cecil said at BravoCon, he does all of their financial decisions. He does very well for himself. The thing is, Simone is always going to stress herself out. It's just who she is. It's just who she is. Cecil will never be stressed out. It's just who he is. So Cecil will always seem calm, cool, and relaxed because he is. And Simone will be always uptight because she winds herself up. I think those boys are 6 years, seniors in college. They graduated. Um, now, do I think he's pulling a Lynn Searcy trying to stay in school longer? Possibly, possibly. However, this is why I don't have children. Is the other one trying to go to secondary school too? Because also, let's not act like Michael is not her favorite. Like we have seen Michael and her have been super close, and I'm sure she encouraged him to go to law school. I'm sorry, Dr. Ass Simone. See, I got to put a little bit on the parent on that one. You know, Simone urged, encouraged, also made sure he was taking the courses while he was in college to be eligible for law school. Let's not act like she ain't walk him into this $150,000 decision. Simone told Angela Yee she wants to travel and have fun. Okay, also, we're acting like Simone, like $150,000 is that much to Simone. Her boring ass is gonna stay on next season. That can be her next season check, and that's half of her next season check. She's probably getting a cute 500,000 to be on this show. There you go, and that's all 3 years. That quick 150. There you go. There you go. So, and she works for that a few months out of the year. So it's not like, so that means you ain't got to touch your doctor money. You don't have to touch your engagement money. You got a whole bunch of other checks coming in. Hell, have Cecil give up his share of what you pay him to be on the show. But again, Cecil ready to cut the check. Simone and Heavenly's kids are sick of them. They are, and also, I mean, having to deal with Simone as a mother, yeah, your ass paying for law school for me too. All that yelling, goodness. She need to be grateful. He don't want to become a doctor. You could be looking at a longer bill. He's letting you off scot free with 3 years, and it could be a hard seven. What if he wanted to be a doctor, Simone, and follow in your footsteps? As much as medical school costs today, and with your rich ass, he would not qualify for assistance. So yeah, I don't think that it's. I feel like if you can make $150,000 like that, yeah, it's okay for your kid to hit you up. We're not saying, because that's the thing, you're not going without. And also Simone whining about retirement. How you gonna retire for $150,000? I mean, yeah, that's some cute put away money, but if that's what's stopping you from retiring, baby, you wasn't retiring no way. Exactly. And you don't just apply to law school. You have to study and take the LSAT. You just have to say kids force. Oh, Simone was honestly like having a conniption at the kitchen table about paying for Michael's law school. And she's like, I took out loans and got scholarships. And it's like, well, you're too rich for him to get a scholarship. And when you took out loans, school was $12,000, and now it's 50,000 a year. So yeah, you took out loan. You got a cut rate education. Oh, boomer ass. You got an education when it was when you would get a return on your investment. You went to school during proper ROI. But I just wanted to come on and jab about that. Anything else we want to talk about before any other hot topics? Anything else that happened? It was a quiet weekend. Bronx saw his first snow. He was like, okay, I'm glad I have a coat on. He was very ready to come back inside, though. A year, no, a semester, a semester, a semester. So, yes, that's why he's not looking at loans. All right. Well, I'm see you soon for some.